Gels, I'm pissed off.
Why?
I didn't wear my Legends t-shirt because today we're talking about Dustin Williams cars, and it is pretty legendary if I say so myself. And I feel like I have the ability to say that because we deal a lot with dairy. Maybe not so much legend stuff, but more so dairy stuff. So today we're getting into the legendary collection of Dustin Williams. We got 3 cars we're reviewing today. Dustin has a lot more than that, so bear with us, okay? We can only fit so much in an episode. Shout out to Night Ride. If you didn't see the last episode, they commented on it. They loved it. I'm so stoked. I was literally like a 2-year-old kid in a candy store. So what we're going to be doing here is filling this out. We have 3 of Dustin Williams cars today that we're going to be covering. Yes, I know there's some crazier ones and there's crazy. I tried to get a good selection of what he's currently been working on. So Giles, you ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
All right, first car of the day, what we have is the Tokyo Drift Evo.
Like the Tokyo Drift Evo.
Like, I don't know if people understand how insane this is, that he actually owns the Evo from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Right.
Not
like,
a Hyundai.
I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough.
Okay, and what's even crazier is if you didn't know, if somehow you haven't watched Dustin's recent content, he imported it to Japan.
Which is backwards.
All of the YouTubers in the world right now are importing cars from Japan. This man imported a car to Japan.
He ahead of the curve.
Just to see that car in Japan in the settings, taking it to iconic locations, taking it on tracks out there is absolutely insane. So if you didn't know, he had this car for about 2 years. He's had some trouble with it.
Yeah, I know it hasn't been the most
It's not the most reliable
thing.
So if you didn't know, it looks like this puppy is on some Tane suspension. The TE37s were swapped onto the car from the R34s. We've been playing a little bit of wheel swap. You see the APR graphic along the side with the very Fast and Furious livery going on. Even though I do like this livery, I think it's a good looking car.
It looks good.
Especially for some of the Fast and Furious cars. I think this one's...
It's like one of the more tame ones for sure.
Yeah, dude, it gets me bricked up.
Really?
So we have APR cosmetics, splitters, canards, wing on there, and then it has a roll cage and Recaro
For all the drifting.
Well,
to be able to have a car as iconic as that and the role that played and continue to keep that story going.
Yeah, where are the other Fast and Furious cars? Either in a garage or crushed.
Yeah, a lot of them
One
were
in
crushed.
Wisconsin got crushed from the first movie.
Yeah,
it was R33.
A lot of them got crushed.
Anyways, now we have to do the hardest thing we've ever done in our life and rate this car and put it on a scale. And
you better take this rating very seriously.
We made the smart decision to keep the other YouTubers on the list.
Yeah.
So I think that's where things start to get really hairy.
The list.
And yeah, if you didn't know, we're including the story a little bit into the grading, factoring of it.
I feel like you'd have to.
Yeah. What do you think, Giles? This is a tough one. It has some reliability issues. It's been tough. It's really cool. It's in Japan right now. What he did with it is S tier.
Some would say legendary.
It's what legends are made of, right?
Balance it out with an A?
I think we need to balance it out with an A. I think that's fair. Story is an S, and what Dustin has done with it is an S. The car overall, just in the condition, how it's been, I think A is fair. Hopping into the second round of cars. Now, this one's really interesting because if you know Dustin Williams, watch his content, you know he's a big JDM guy.
Yeah,
big JDM nerd. Dude loves Japan. We're out of Japan now. We're all over in Germany.
Yeah?
Yeah. Bauschmintz. What does the BMW stand for? All right, we have the G87 M2. This is a very controversial car when it came out because everyone said this shit's uggo.
And now
you think
what?
it's uggo?
Not anymore.
No, dude,
That
it
was one
looks
of them.
good. I know.
I swapped.
BMW does this fantastic thing where they make cars that everyone thinks is ugly, and then 2 months into it, they're like, holy shit, that's the most gorgeous car they've done. And I can't get behind the mental, I don't know how they do it.
They have a time machine. I'm telling you.
Okay, so let's get into it. What Dustin has been doing is tracking the living piss out of this
As
thing,
it
and it
should
looks
be.
so fun. So we have the Eventuri carbon intakes, dual intakes on there. If you've seen the episode with these, they look beautiful. This has a roll cage as well. Again, he's tracking it a lot, so you're gonna see a lot more track-driven mods.
It is crazy to go into something as wild as a roll cage right off the bat.
Absolutely. So another thing I thought was interesting, it looked like you just went with lowering springs on this, which I'm seeing a lot more with on the newer cars, and he had Swift springs installed because you want to maintain that factory ride active damping and stuff.
A lot of the stuff, I mean, you're getting such good suspension out of the gate with a lot of these cars nowadays, especially when you're going something with an M2 that's meant to be driven like
track
that.
that's street.
You can perfectly 100% get away with a set of lowering springs and be perfectly happy.
Even on the stock suspension, I
Yes.
mean, you can run that
Yes.
and be pretty dang good. But I mean, we want to clean up the wheel gap a little bit. Am I right?
No, but this thing is absolutely. So, what do you think about? Because I know obviously the car isn't satin satin or matte black from the factory. I think he had like the whole thing like clear wrap, but with like a matte wrap on it. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's what it is? I didn't even realize
so
that.
it's almost like a full like PPF, but like in matte finish.
I love it. I think
you like it?
Yeah, I really
I don't know
like
how
it.
I feel about it.
Really? I think it's dope. Sometimes I hate matte black, and sometimes I really like it. It depends. I think I got like some PTSD of the kids in high school when I was a kid, and they all matte black spray painted their SRT4s.
Yes.
That kind of gave it that cheap look. But when it is done well on it, I think it looks mean and aggressive as hell. And it allows other stuff to kind of pop when you put gloss black wheels and stuff like that.
Especially because like if he is tracking this thing that hard, it's going to protect that paint really well too. So
yeah, I think he's done a good job with this. I think it looks good. Again, it's still more of a track focused car rather than anything else. I'm sure he wants it to look good too, which I think it does, but there's nothing too loud or crazy about it. So I think it's time, Gels. Let's get this reviewed.
Okay.
Whoa!
I'm gonna say it.
Say it. I need somewhere to start off of.
B.
B as in BMW.
Right now, I think it does.
Okay, because there's room to go up.
There's a lot of room
to go up.
A lot of room.
We'll go there. All right, we got a heavy hitter here. This is one of the pinnacles.
How heavy?
3,395 pounds heavy.
That sounds to me like an R34 GTR.
Yes.
Because I know the exact weight of
Same.
an R34 GTR.
Actually, I know the exact weight of every car off the top of my head. Don't ask in person. So we have Dustin Williams R34 GTR that was purchased in Japan. It's being stored by Top Rank.
Yep.
We got to go hang out with the Top Rank guys. They're really cool. Shout out Brian. He's from the area too. He's hung out with. He's on the podcast even.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is like the pinnacle of car enthusiast car, in my opinion, and what he's doing with it. This car has a phenomenal story, and if you haven't watched Dustin's R34 Japan series,
You need to. Because you're missing out.
you guys
That's all I'll say about
a
it.
day or two aside and just binge it. Somehow you haven't watched it. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite car series ever made because it's what I feel like anybody that's slightly into JDM cars ever wanted to do in their life, which is buy a car in Japan, mod it in Japan, and then not only that, but like take it to tracks
Like
and
these
toll
like
gates
famous, iconic places.
in Japan. And he's already started modding it and doing stuff to it, and he's been bringing it to some of like the most iconic GTR shops and having it worked on.
Everything about this car is so like from the process of buying it to keeping it there to the plan with it, the modifications that are put on it, where the modifications are being installed has been so like well thought out and executed, and like there's a reason for everything. I just absolutely love that.
Yeah, so the plan is to bring it back to America, which I think is going to be super bittersweet because he's made such a legacy of it in Japan. And
but just think like it's so cool too. But then also saying like you have access to that car like all the time. And, like it is officially like yours. It's in your garage. It's at home.
Yes.
And it's like this was built in Japan. Like these parts were sold in Japan by the like guys at these shops.
Yeah, I don't want to do too many spoilers. Go check it out if you haven't. But looking at some of the mods that we have on here, it's a full titanium Midori exhaust, Volk TE 37 wheels that we talked about that were swapped over the Evo. New old stock on some Nismo parts, which is absolutely insane. Dude, the carbon hood that he got for that, not only does it look amazing, but to find like new old stock of Nismo parts, I don't even want to know what he paid for that because it's probably more than every car I own added up. But it's so sick.
Honestly, maybe he's doing it the right way because one, you're not have to pay for shipping on any of these parts.
That's true.
And it's like obviously they're there, so I feel like they're more easily. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that.
Again, he's doing it so right, and like I love that he's taking on toge's and then he gets a sticker afterwards, puts it on the car, legendary runs, and all the track driving that he's done on it. And then not to mention, I mean, when do you see a white R34, dude? I feel like everybody's is like either the blue, black, maybe every once in a while, but never white.
Or they're trying to go snag like the midnight purple.
Yeah, midnight purple. Yeah, which I think like Adam LG has the midnight purple. I think the white looks gorgeous, and the mods he's done. The ride height is beautiful. The factory R34 body kit on there, the carbon hood. I think he actually went, I can't remember if it was Up Garage or what Japanese shop, but he went in and picked up a steering wheel, and like even in that episode you kind of said what you said, like this is so cool to just be able to like buy what I would order. And like I went to the shop, spoke Japanese to the guy, and I purchased it. Let's rate it because I'm so ready. I'm putting the R34 over Kevin.
Really?
I know what this is and I know it's insane, but again, to me, at least, which you can argue, I'm open to argue, but I think this is the car enthusiast dream. This is the dream you never thought of.
They're all wild.
This is what we all dreamed of since we were a kid.
They're all wild in their own ways.
Yeah.
Kevin is wild in his own way because, I mean, just look at it. Look at what it is. And then also this is wild in its own way because, again, Dustin's really good with, like, building a story with a vehicle.
Yeah, the story of the vehicle. And then also adding all the right, parts that just work so well together. That's S tier all day. But what do you guys rate these cars? Make sure to let us know down below. Big shout out to Dustin Williams. We'll have him linked below. I love his content, watch a lot of his stuff. We've had the chance to meet up, talk with him.
dude.
He's so nice, so humble. He recommended a super good food spot, and that makes me forever thank you. So if you need to mod your car, make sure to mod it at Martini Works, and let us know who you want to review next. Josie, you got any closing out words here? Give a word of wisdom.
Word of wisdom?
Yeah.
Do not cook bacon with your shirt off.
That actually, yeah, that's fire. That's all I needed to say.